Hi everyone, it's Stephanie here and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be creating 2 holiday cards with the exact same card design. We're just going to be changing up the color that we're using on each one. This is the third set of cards that I'm sharing this week for quick and easy card designs that can easily be mass produced for this busy time of year when we need lots of holiday card designs but we don't have a lot of time. So for this design here, this is probably the quickest and the easiest of all of the designs I've shared this week. This one is just going to have some simple embossing and then we're going to do some ink blending over top. The trick to this type of design is to have an image or a sentiment that's pretty large so it fills up the majority of your card front. I'm going to be using this We Wish You a Merry Christmas stamp, which says We Wish You a Merry Christmas kind of in a tree formation so it looks like a Christmas tree once you have it stamped and embossed. So I'm stamping it onto my panel with Versamark ink, which is a clear sticky ink that's going to hold on to the embossing powder. And I'm double stamping each of my panels just to make sure I have lots of ink on that panel. I'm then going to take white embossing powder and completely cover over the stamped images, and you'll see that the white embossing powder sticks to all of the areas that I have the ink. It's kind of hard to see because this is white on white, but I'm going to take these to my heat tool and heat set them. And then we can start applying the ink, which is going to create an emboss resist look. So I have both of these now, both are heat set. Both of my panels, I should mention, are 4 inches by 5 1/4. So they're going to fit nicely onto an A2 size card base and have a bit of a white border around the edges. I decided to go with traditional Christmas colors for both of my card designs, so I'm going to be doing one in shades of red and the other one in shades of green. I'm using Distress inks to do my ink blending, but you can use regular dye inks or Distress oxides as well if that's what you have on hand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my lightest color first because I have a few shades of red. So I'm going to start off with the Worn Lipstick, which is the lighter of the red shades, and I'm going to cover the entire panel. You can see that we have that really great emboss resist, and that sentiment and the little star on top is coming right through all of that ink with that really bright white look. After I had the first layer of color down, I came in with Festive Berries, which is a little bit darker, and I went around the edges. And then that wasn't quite as dark as I wanted, so I did come in finally with Fired Brick, which is a really dark red, and I went around the edges a little bit more to really emphasize those dark edges and keep the center area in that Christmas tree shape with the lighter red color. Once I had all of the ink blending done, I took a cloth and wiped over top of the letters. This is just going to remove any of that extra ink that's kind of sitting on top of the embossing powder. I'll set that one aside to let that ink fully dry, and then we can go ahead and work on the second panel. This is going to have the exact same technique as the first one. We're just going to change out the reds for some green shades. The lightest color on this one is Evergreen Bough, and I'm just going to go ahead and go all around like I did with the red one and fully cover this entire panel with this ink color. Once I have the lightest color on, I'll then come in with a darker color. So for this one, I only had 2 colors of green. I had the Evergreen Bough for the lightest, and then I have Lucky Clover, which is going to be my darkest. And I decided when I add the Lucky Clover that it wasn't quite as dark as I was going for. So you're going to see here that I'm going to end up adding a little bit of blue to this as well, just to really emphasize the edges and really distinguish between the light area in the center and the darker area around the edges. So for the blue, I chose Chipped Sapphire, and I was very careful not to add a ton of this over top. I didn't want to take away from that green color. I just wanted to darken up the edges just a bit, just to really make that Christmas tree glow. I did go back to the lighter color once I had all of the dark color on, just to really blend everything together. And then once again, I'll take a cloth and wipe over all of the letters to remove that extra ink. Once the panels are fully dry, I can go ahead and add them to our card bases. You can do this with foam adhesive if you want to add a little bit of dimension, but I'm going with quick and easy here, so I'm just using regular adhesive, and I'm adding them directly onto white card bases. Both of the card bases are A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, and our panels fit nicely right in the center, and like I mentioned before, we end up with that really great white border around the edge. Once I have these on here, I was going to call it done, but I decided I wanted to add just a little touch to these since they are very simple and plain. So I decided to add a clear sequin to the center of both of the stars on the top of the Sentiment Christmas tree. So I just added some glue to the center of each of the stars and then put my clear sequins directly over top. I like to use tweezers for this since it is kind of small with those little sequins. It's a little bit easier to get them in place and press down firmly into that glue. And then I'm going to finish it off by adding a little bit of Stardust Stickles to the center of each sequin. This helps to cover the whole, and it adds a little bit of sparkle and shine to our finished card. And now we have 2 finished card designs that were very quick and easy to create. We simply embossed that one sentiment stamp onto the center of the panel, and then we added a little bit of ink to really emphasize all of that embossed detail. So I hope today's video gave you some ideas on ways that you can create quick and easy embossed cards for the holiday season. As always, I appreciate you being here for another video, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching.